All right, folks, I should be talking about the Trump indictments because this is the big one. But you know what? You've probably heard it from everybody else so far today, so I'm going to hold off on talking about them. This might be a bad decision for the channel. I'm going to hold off talking about them until tomorrow because I am just absolutely captivated with the situation over at Linus Tech Tips, one of a very, very big YouTube channel. And I think that I'm so captivated by this story because I am in a business where I've tried to schmooze a YouTuber or two in my day to get a favorable review of my product. I'm not going to disclose what that is, but I've been in this position of, hey, should we give them a free sample? And what I sell is very expensive unit price, so I can relate to these. Well, I don't even want to get to it yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. So, for those of you unaware, Linus Tech Tips is a very big, very old YouTube channel that talks about like computer hardware and just tech stuff in general. They review computer parts, they review keyboards, mice, monitors, whole-built computers, computer components, and there's a whole big scandal of how good are their reviews and how accurate is their information. That's a separate matter. I want to focus on what they did to a small business, a small startup called Billet Labs that was developing, you don't need to know anything about computers, but they were developing a component for a computer. This would be like an aftermarket upgrade part. It was supposed to be very high-end, and because Linus showed an interest in their business, they allowed Linus to come in and observe their operation, look at all their very expensive equipment that they've got purchased to try and work on developing their product, and then they let him walk away with their best working prototype that they were using to try and, improve, and because they don't sell anything yet. They're working on trying to build the product now. They're in the development stages, which I've been in with new products. It can be, when you have that first prototype, to you as an inventor, that's priceless because that's all of you. You're putting all your energy, all your hours, and all your money into this one device to then try and come up with something that you can use as a template to mass produce. And so they essentially handed off their baby to Linus because he's the biggest tech YouTuber on the internet. If he gives exposure to their company and to their product, they could have investors, knocking down their doors, and they could have a mountain of orders waiting for them as soon as they're ready to launch their product. And so, if you have a chance to get your product on his channel, you're going to do whatever Linus asks, and that's what they did. And so they handed off their priceless prototype. And what did he do? Well, he gave it a terrible review. And not only did he give it a terrible review, he smeared their company before they've ever sold a single product. It was the worst case scenario. He did not like the product. He did not think that the product just needed some improvements. He didn't think that it needed some tweaks. Because remember, he was dealing with a prototype. He was not dealing with something that was being sold. They were not trying to sell this to anyone, the device that he was reviewing. He was just looking at it from a development standpoint. Hey, this is a peek into the future of something you might be able to buy in a year or two. And he said the whole thing was utter garbage, and that no one should ever buy anything from this company. And so I'm sure those men, after letting Linus into their operation and after being friendly with him, and they were probably pretty crushed at how harsh he was on them, especially considering he did not use it in the very limited case in which they had been developing and testing it. Because, these computer components, they're just like with anything, they can be rather sensitive, and you only design them to do a certain thing and to operate in a certain environment. And so if someone buys, let's say, a Camaro, and they take it to Moab, and they give it a poor review because it got stuck at the opening part of the trail because, Camaros are not rock crawlers, They're made for going fast on the road. They're not made for climbing mountains and going off-road. If you take a product and you test it outside of its intended use, yeah, you're going to find that the product doesn't work very well at something that it was not designed for. An air fryer sucks as a freeze dryer because it's hot. It's not cold. You shouldn't have to tell a reviewer that. And so Linus took this this part that was designed to be an upgrade for a very specific device, and he tried it on a different device. And he said, well, this product or this prototype did not work as an upgrade to this completely different product that it was not intended to interact with ever. And afterwards, he admitted, oh, I guess we screwed up in testing it. We tested it, in the wrong scenario. Well, it would cost too much for me to refilm the video, so screw it. And anyone who has a problem with what I said, you're stupid. And yeah, that company still sucks, and their product is dumb. Even if it worked, I wouldn't like it. So he's essentially just saying that there is no scenario under which he would have reviewed this product favorably, which makes it seem to me that he had a personal vendetta against these men to begin with. He lied to them to get into their facility, to record their development process, which, I mean, a lot of people would consider that industrial espionage if it wasn't voluntary. But considering that Linus apparently did it with malicious intent, because he's saying that from the beginning there was nothing this product could have done to receive a favorable view. And just in case all of that wasn't bad enough, he took all of their development time, all of their dedication as entrepreneurs, all of their hard work, and he flushed it down the toilet. He decided to hang on to their prototype that they had been working on. He never gave it back, but he kept telling them that he would give it back. And he said, oh, yeah, I'll ship it in a couple days. I'll send you the tracking number. And he strung these guys along for months, until all of a sudden at LTX, which was last week or the week before, Linus's big convention, all of a sudden, this prototype ends up on the auction block. And he sells it. Now, these guys, seeing that their item was auctioned off, says, hey, what the hell? You stole our priceless artifact, or our priceless prototype, and now we don't have another one. We can't continue developing it. All of our money, all of our effort, all of our research went into that. We can't just get it, we can't just make another one, at least not easily, without expending the same amount of resources that it took to develop the first one. We have to start over in our product development process. And he said, it sucks to be you. So what? Sue me. Because he knows. He's a massive company at this point. He's a big YouTuber. All he has to do is put these guys on blast, and he can cancel them. And it doesn't matter. He can swat away their lawsuit. He knows they can't afford to sue him because they don't have the money to build another prototype. So how are they going to get money for a lawyer? And so what he has tried to do clearly is destroy this company. This is a fledgling company. There's a couple of guys. They had an idea. They're trying to work hard to develop something, for a boutique customer base. And this guy, Linus, just wants to destroy them. And it's not clear why. But it's very clearly personal. Or else there's no reason you would treat someone this way. I cannot imagine a worse experience as an OEM that you could have with a YouTuber. I mean, this is my worst nightmare. It's bad enough to give someone a free product, that you already have in production, that you've got the kinks worked out of, you're sure, okay, this is good, this is a go. Let's send it for free, which kind of hurts sometimes depending on the product, to this reviewer. And then if they say, yeah, this sucks, I don't like it, that doesn't feel good. Because people who watch that channel are going to go, okay, I shouldn't buy that now, because if they're reviewing your product unfavorably, there are probably comparable products that they have reviewed favorably. And so their audience, Linus's millions and millions of of subscribers are going to buy another product that is comparable, that he has reviewed favorably. But then to have your entire development process, your entire idea, your everything you've been working on stolen and flushed down the drain very publicly. I don't know. I would take me weeks to be able to sleep. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I would be so filled with rage. And so, that's why on a personal level to me, this feels like a bigger story than what's going on with Trump. Because it's like, okay, yeah, another Trump indictment. Now, this is the worst Trump indictment, so I will have to talk about it because it is significant. This is the most insane indictment yet. But, in my head, what I've got burning, and that's what I created this channel for. I created this channel to vent about the news that drove me nuts the most. And today, this just happens to be it. Something almost none of you who follow this channel will care about. But it's something that I think any of you will be able to relate to if you've ever been in business like that. So, anyway, with that said, I will see you folks back here tomorrow.